G'day, everyone. Now, this guest is very, very special. I have been involved in one of his projects. He's got his businesses, and we're going to elaborate that. But this particular special guest, he is of a celebrity status. He played over 100 games of AFL, kicked over 100 goals in his career. Um, didn't particularly have the traditional young person's drafting and have a prolonged career that way. His was a bit different, but we'll speak a bit later. Anyway, guys, this special guest is none other than James Podsiadly. How are you, James?
Ronan, thanks for having me along. And I'm good, mate. I'm really good.
That's really, really good, James. Now, what we'll do is, mate, we'll just kick off. Just in general, mate, podcasts. Do you listen to any in general?
I do. I'm a bit probably erratic, to be honest, a little bit, but there's a couple that I probably like to dive into and listen to regularly.
Mm.
I suppose from a business leadership perspective, I do like the Mark Boris podcasts. He's got a couple, but yeah, those ones are pretty good because he interviews some sort of leaders in the community or business people and just talks about their story or how they got into business and some lessons learned. So that's relevant for me, I think, and I learn a bit out of that. From an entertainment perspective, I don't mind the Hamish and Andy podcast,
Yeah,
uh,
they're pretty funny, those boys.
which is great. And then, mate, like I'm probably addicted to NFL, NFL fantasy,
Yeah.
and that. So I do listen to a few NFL sort of podcasts as well.
Did you used to listen to Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp?
No, I didn't listen to them, but I've just got some sort of more dynasty or fantasy ones that no one would ever hear of, that I just enjoy listening to.
Okay, no, that's good, mate. It's good you enjoy your NFL. We're going to talk about that a bit later, but yeah, just with me, mate, with my podcast, I'm a pretty big Joe Rogan fan. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
listen to all of his pods. I was actually listening to one recently, Charlie Sheen, from Two and a Half Men,
yes.
and he's also been involved with other movies as well. But anyway, he's been sober 8 years, and he did a 3 hour pod. I was listening to it while I was at work, just out of my phone. Yeah, so I do listen to the odd Joe Rogan episode. Dylan Friends, I've been listening to the last few that he's done. One of your teammates, Corey Enright, he did a podcast with him. That's pretty good, that one, James. So if you've got an hour and a half up your sleeve, that's a good one to listen to. He
I
doesn't speak
will.
about you, but he does talk about his time at
Huh.
Geelong. So
No, I shouldn't. But yeah, Dills has done a fantastic job, not only with podcasts but with his broader business altogether too. So it's great to see him be successful and hopefully
yeah,
keeps growing.
yeah, because he had a podcast called The List Cloggers with Dan Gorringe.
Yeah,
But obviously, those two have gone their separate ways.
yeah, right.
Dill's got a decent following. He runs his pod a bit different. Dan Gorringe is he's more he has that peanut approach. He is quite humorous. He's got a very large support backing as well. Like on Instagram, he's got nearly 500,000 followers. So yeah,
Oh wow, that's great.
Dan Gorringe, it's really kicked off this year for him.
Yeah,
What we'll
right.
do, mate, the grand final. So actually, you and I both attended. Um, are you
Most
surprised
recently.
about
Yeah.
Brisbane romping the Cats?
Yeah, I think I was surprised, but a lot of people were.
Mm,
I'm obviously an outsider now, but I do follow it as best I can with the time I've got. But I was pretty confident the Cats would, give a fair show on the day, and I think they sort of did. And
till half time, they were right
so,
there.
yeah, to half time, I think they were still a point up with 8 minutes to go in that third quarter. But to Brisbane's credit, their work around stoppage and contests in that sort of third and fourth quarter was just sublime and
Mm,
so clean. Obviously, the margin in a grand final, I think, always gets away from you once you're 25 points down with 15 minutes to go, whatever it is. You're probably thinking as a player, no chance. So you can see why it sort of blew out. But I think Geelong's year this year was fantastic. As a Geelong supporter now, I think I'm really optimistic on what they can do over the next 2 or 3 years with the list they have. It's still young.
mm,
Lost the prelim last year, lost the grand final. So yeah, I think they've done a great job.
yeah, and with Geelong as well, they just keep getting good players that want to go there. So free agents want to go there, and like Warple has already been traded there. Rowan Marshall's already indicated he wants to go there. So look, every year.
Hopefully your boy's next.
Yeah, we'll talk about Carlton, mate, because no one wants to play there.
No, that's not true.
Ah, yeah, mate. So what we'll do now, we'll talk about Brownlow medal. Now, Matt Rowell, he's come from nowhere. I don't even think he was a top five favourite. He look great player, and not saying he doesn't deserve it or anything, but yeah, are you surprised with Matt Rowell winning the Brownlow?
I'm not.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm an outsider, and I'll probably watch it as a fan now, and maybe you still watch it with a coach's lens because I was one a little while ago, but I thought his year was fantastic, and the way he
Mm,
plays, I'm assuming that would catch an umpire's eye. Like he's right underneath him, he's hard at
mm.
it, he tackles, he pressures, and the other guy next to him too.
Noah
Um,
Anderson.
Noah Anderson, he's a phenomenal player too. So,
Mm,
two guns,
yeah.
polled pretty well on the night. So I think he's a deserved winner.
Yeah, they'd both get a game at any club as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, just Nick Dacos polled very well again. He got 32, Matt Rowell 38. Just probably the last few years, pods, like just off the top of my head, like Paddy Cripps getting like 40, 46 votes the other year. And then I know Dustin Martin's got like 36 votes one year he won it. But in the last like 10 years, people that are winning the Brownlow, they're really polling like more than 35 votes. And I know back in your days, if you got 29 votes, 28 votes, that was enough to win a Brownlow.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm not sure how that sort of come about uh,
Mm,
and how that sort of evolved to that. But to if you look at a game of footy when there's 36 players on the field at one time, all playing a role, all playing different positions, it'd be so hard for an umpire at the end of a game to only give a 3, 2, and 1. Like
mm,
I think anyway, it's a team game. So how to, we do it in the media a bit, and obviously best and fairest exists. So I just find it hard to work out who is the best player on the ground, who has the most influence. Sometimes you get an Asai Wanganeen Miller, who actually didn't get the 3 votes that game, but you can clearly see that game
mm,
there, a guy is the best player on the ground, has the most
yeah,
influence. But I reckon the majority of games, it's really hard to tell. But anyway,
yeah.
that's just me.
That St Kilda game was against Melbourne, and Jack Viney did play a blinder. He got 16 tackles. So I guess you see Viney just slamming blokes on the ground. It looks pretty good. But yeah, look, Nasai, geez, him and Dacos, two of the best mids in my opinion. They were just on another level, those guys. And look, St Kilda are going to be scary next year, pods. There's players want to go there now, and they want to go play with Nasai and Ross the boss. So
Ah,
yeah, it's they got a lot of money freed up, and yeah, so St Kilda's going to be one club to watch. So just before you said you're a Geelong supporter growing up, your childhood heroes in terms of the players, which players were your childhood heroes growing up?
well, I'll correct that. I mean, I'm a Geelong supporter now because
Like,
I love the club. But when I grew up, I was a Bulldogs supporter. I grew up
oh,
in the west of Melbourne.
yeah,
And yeah, followed the Bulldogs. I remember their players coming to my school and in primary school, and that's the reason why I followed them. And my sort of that time, it was Chris Grant,
mm-hmm,
Brad Johnson,
mm-hmm,
who was they were the two guys that I loved watching as a player
mm,
as well. Sorry, as a fan.
mm. Yeah, just Chris Grant. I know he got a massive offer from Port Adelaide when Port Adelaide first came to the AFL. It was like unbelievably good, but he said no, he was loyal. And yeah, Brad Johnson, I heard he lives in Geelong these days. So I actually saw, I think I follow Adam Cooney on Instagram, and it was like him and a few other Western Bulldogs players, former players that now living in Geelong.
Oh, there you go.
So I saw this
Oh,
photo. It had Sean Higgins in it, and it had yeah, so Cooney, Brad Johnson, Peter Street, the big ruckman.
Streety, he's a great guy.
Yeah, and there's someone else. I saw this photo a while ago, but yeah, it was Cooney just saying Geelong Bulldogs together, and it was pretty funny. Yeah. Um, so just your parents, mate. So what did they do for a living?
Um, Yeah, I mean, dad sort of my dad left when I was probably 8 years old, so I didn't really have too much contact
Okay.
in post that, and don't now.
Yeah.
Mum was a single parent. We relied a lot on my grandparents when I was younger. So we're really close with them. Mum did a fair bit, but she was the most stuff that the sort of the majority of stuff that she did was she was a medical receptionist
Hmm.
for the majority of her career.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So growing up, so you said you grew up in the west of Melbourne. So which suburb did you grow up in?
Spotswood,
Oh, nice. Okay.
Spotswood. Yeah,
Yeah, myself and my partner nearly got a rental property there to stay in a few years ago.
there
But
you
it
go.
was a nice little unit, but unfortunately, it was really close to the train station.
Yeah,
And my partner was like, I don't want to live near the train station, they get loud.
fair
So
enough.
we ended up moving to Sea Home, and now we bought a house in Altona Meadows. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
well
aware of
done.
Spotswood. It's a nice little area.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was very lucky growing up there.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, mate. You got brothers and
Sister,
sisters?
younger sister. Yeah, so she was pretty sporty as well and was a state netballer.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed getting to sort of watch her and watch most of her games as well. So yeah, she's she was a star.
Yeah. So is she still working now, or is she a housewife, or?
No, yeah, she works. She works for a health insurer and has got a pretty good sort of executive career.
Mm-hmm.
Lives not far from you in Altona,
Yeah.
so still there.
Oh, nice, mate.
Two kids and married. So yeah, she's doing really well.
Nice, mate. So you're married yourself, James?
Yes, married, Claire, a couple of kids, two
Yeah.
boys,
How
5 year
old are your
old,
kids?
5 and 2.
Oh, nice. Young family.
Early
Okay.
days, early days, but the fun times are still ahead of us.
Yeah, yeah. Is the 2-year-old in childcare?
No, no,
Oh, okay. No worries. So your older kid, did they have a stint in childcare?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay. So your partner would stay at home and look after them
Yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
we'll help out.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Geez, yeah, Lorenzo, my son is he just can't get a break. He keeps getting sick.
yeah.
He's getting hay fever now. So last few days, runny nose, pick him up from childcare. Unfortunately, his face is flaring up a bit.
Great name, Lorenzo too.
Yeah, yeah.
Great
It's
name.
my partner actually decided that name. So my partner's Colombian in nationality, and yeah, I looked into it. It's more an Italian Spanish name, and she was trying to arrange a name, and she said Lorenzo. I said, well, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's stuck, mate. It's unique, and I think it's nice as well.
That's great.
Just growing up, mate, playing in junior
Yeah.
football. Which club did you play for? Was it just the one club?
Didn't play juniors. Ronan and I played tennis as a junior.
Mm-hmm.
Started my sort of community sport in lacrosse. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Loved lacrosse and
Mm-hmm.
played for the local club, and then sort of got into tennis and became addicted to tennis from the age of, I don't know, when I was maybe 8 years old to the age of
Mm-hmm.
18, and that's all I did. And then I started sort of playing footy when I was
Mm-hmm.
17. Um,
Okay, which club did you first play for?
I played at school. I went to St. Paul's, which is in Altona North.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
good school.
played school footy there, and then had a couple of mates who in the school team that played at Yarraville. So they said come and play a couple of games there, and I did at the start of the year, and then was playing a school game, and the Western Jets recruiter come and watch the game,
Mm-hmm.
and then sort of maybe about 5 games into the season, I went and trained at the Jets and ended up playing the rest of the year there. So
That's awesome, Pod.
yeah,
That's really,
right.
really good. You were so lucky that guy watched, and then that helped
Yeah,
you with a VFL career. So, um, we'll just speak about because I know you actually were rookie listed at a few clubs at a young age.
that's right. So after the Western Jets
Yeah.
year, which was 99, I did a preseason at Essendon,
Mm-hmm.
and then they rookied me at the end of the preseason and spent 2 years playing in the VFL at Essendon, which was great. And then I spent a year on Collingwood's rookie list where I got a chance to play in the old Wizard Cup games,
Mm-hmm. I
uh,
remember those preseason ones.
pre-season games. Yeah, it was 3 games. So that was sort of my early days path, and I didn't really get to experience obviously any AFL, but yeah, those pre-season games were enough of a hit for me to understand that the level you need to get to.
Mm. Did you play as a forward in those young
I
days?
played it as a, no, I played at Collingwood. Um, I played as a back. I think yeah, my first year or so at Essendon, I played as as a forward, and then yeah, played as a back at Collingwood in the preseason. I ended up going Williamstown, and Collingwood had an alignment then. In the second part of the
Hmm.
season, I became a forward at Willie.
Okay, nice. So,
Yeah,
okay, cool. So you're at Willie for a few years, and
just
then
1 year,
1 year.
just
Then did
for
you go
that
to Werribee
alignment.
after that?
Yeah, and then I spent 6 years at Werribee
Okay.
after I got delisted from Collingwood, and that was yeah, that really shaped me as a person and shaped
Hmm.
my footy. The time I had at Werribee, and it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember I used to watch you on ABC.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Pos,
Bill
you were really
Cleary,
good, mate. You were
Ross
really,
Booth.
you're really touted as a great player in the VFL. I remember one year you played for Werribee, and you did you win the goal kicking more than once?
Uh, Maybe I think I won it once.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
you kicked 80 odd one year.
yeah, I think about that. Yeah,
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 yeah, no, it's good, mate. Yeah, I remember watching, and then you had your stint at Werribee, and then Geelong Cats they tapped you on the shoulder, and you had a job there, didn't you, before you were rookie listed?
that's correct. Yeah, my the time at Werribee was obviously had the option to go on at Werribee, but Geelong offered me a role in their high performance team. So yeah, working with the strength and conditioning coaches and managing the players,
Hmm.
conditioning programs, weight programs, rehab programs. So that was sort of my
Hmm.
um, the door that opened to get myself into the AFL as an employee, first and foremost, and then as a part of that sort of contract, they wanted me to be the captain of their VFL side. So I played, yeah, a year in the VFL, and then I worked with the AFL guys,
Hmm.
S&C coach.
And then I actually remember because I watched a bit of the front bar, and you're on the front bar once, and they approached you, and they said they were looking for a backup for Cam Mooney and Tom Hawkins if one of them had a long term injury.
Yeah, that was the end of 2009. They just won
Hmm.
the grand final.
Hmm.
Um, and I was heading off to London to spend a week with the English rugby team as a part of my sort of professional development in strength and conditioning. And then he had a meeting with Neil Baum, Steve Hocking, and Stephen Wells, who obviously are highly reputable people in the industry.
Mm.
And they just sort of, yeah, relayed that exactly what you said. They sort of said that you've had a good year in the VFL. The 28-year-old doesn't normally get drafted in this day and age, but, we've got Tommy Hawkins, who's obviously an up and coming star. Cam Mooney's sort of coming towards the end of his um, career and obviously was a star and
Mm.
a great person as well. But yeah, and they sort of said if one of those guys go down, we sort of don't have that backup. So yeah, they just put me on a mature age rookie list, and yeah, before you know it, I got my chance, and hopefully I took it, and well, I did take it,
Yeah.
and
You
ran with it.
exploded on the scene, mate. You kicked nearly 50 in your first year in OFL. You kicked
Yeah, I
like
mean,
49 or something. Yeah, you were really good, mate.
yeah, no, I'm
Took
very
opportunities.
fortunate to
Mm.
be part of a really good team, to be honest. And guys like we mentioned, Cam Mooney helped me a lot in those
Mm.
early days, and gave me a lot of confidence
Hmm.
to play at that level. The coaching group that we had at Geelong at the time was phenomenal, and for a 28-year-old to come in, I still had a lot of improvement in my game, and I wanted to get better, but those coaches and players that were there made me better too. So. Um,
Mm. That's really good, mate. Because yeah, just I'm going to speak about the coaches of your career and your influences. But firstly, mate, just during your VFL days, what sort of job did you have? Like when you were playing at Werribee in Williamstown, for
Yeah,
example.
I was at uni for a bit of that. I did an exercise science degree. I started an accounting degree as well. So and I ran uh, a personal training and corporate training, health and wellbeing business during that time too. So it was footy, it was uni, and it was health and fitness was basically what I
Hmm.
did.
So I thought someone told me that you were a physio at one stage. Is that true?
No, no. But yeah, I was an exercise science was the course I did. So I was
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what the terms are these days for these guys. They've all got different terms, but
Hmm.
strength and conditioning coach is sort of what I came out as.
Yeah. Oh, cool, mate. Um, just in 2011, you won a premiership at the Cats. Is that the only premiership you've won in any football you played?
Uh, yes, that's correct. Yep.
Did
Yep.
you play in any other grand finals, like at Werribee or
Yeah.
Williamstown? You'd
Played
played in
in
grannies.
played in a losing grand final at Werribee, and I think it might have been '06. We lost by 9 points to Sandringham. Um, so, and that was probably about it. And then later on down the track, we might get to this. When I coached at the Crows, we lost the grand final in 17.
Mm.
One of the coaches there.
Just your time at Werribee, did you play with Jimmy Allen?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I grew up in Lara, and
Ah,
his younger brother is a year older than me. But yeah, I remember seeing Jimmy up at the club at Lara. He used to come and he went to a few. Like I played cricket at Lara as well, and he came to a few of the functions. Said g'day, and yeah, I just remember. Look, I watched him play at Werribee. Very good
player,
skills. Geez,
great
if he
player.
was a bit taller and didn't have the bad knee injuries, he probably would have played AFL. He was rookie listed at Geelong for a year. Then I think he
Yep.
was delisted. But
He
yeah,
won Paul McGarry.
three time McGarry medalist, and he
Yeah.
yeah.
Incredible player. Can
Mm.
find the ball and a really good person. And now he's coaching wherever he too. He's
Yeah, and he got a
very good.
premiership. Yeah,
Yeah,
premiership
first
coach.
leadership. So
Yeah,
very happy
so
for Jimmy.
I think he's a school teacher. I might be wrong, but I think
No,
he
that's
is.
correct. Yep.
Yeah. Do you still talk to him?
Yep. Yeah. I think he's full time at Werribee now as a coach though. But
Mm.
yeah, he's done a great job the last 2 years
Yeah.
at my old club, and it's great to see him winning games.
Yeah. No, it's good, mate. Now I did look at you statistically, and you actually kicked a bag of 8 in a game, which is incredible.
Ah,
Many players, even forwards, have never actually done that. But just off the top of your head, do you remember what year, which round, and which team you kicked that bag of 8 against?
yeah, I know it was against Brisbane at the Gabba. Um, it might have been. Uh, Was it 2011 or
Yeah,
yeah, 2011? And I can't tell you the round.
it was around 17. So
Yeah,
those Brisbane Lions, I think they were a bit over it. They were struggling that year. They were a bit over it at the back end of the year. But no, 8 goals is astonishing, mate.
ah,
Just thought I'd bring that up in the pod. Do you know how many goals you actually kicked in your AFL career?
I think it's about 200, just under 200.
Close.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got it here. You kicked 195 goals.
25.
You
Yeah,
kicked 169 at Geelong and 26 at Adelaide.
there you go.
Yeah,
You've done
mate.
your
So
research.
we're reminiscing on your career, mate. It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, so just in terms of injuries, mate. So look, a lot of players have had horrid injuries, and some players they don't have horrid injuries. But just in your career, some of your more worst injuries you've had, would you be able to share those on the pod?
yeah. I mean, I think all players that play elite sport or any sports people around the world do have injuries, and I'm probably I was the same. So, I mean, I didn't really miss a lot of time
Mm,
missing games. Very fortunate. The injuries I did have probably at the end of the season, I reconstructed my shoulder. I had a shoulder reconstruction after the grand final in 2011.
hmm.
Mate, I've had a fair few hip surgeries and broken bones,
Wow.
and some syndesmosis stuff that probably kept me out of some games in my ankles. But other than that, I got through my AFL career pretty unscathed and can still stay active now, which is probably different to some players retiring.
Did you ever play a game not sore?
Um, I mean, you don't sort of think about it, to be honest.
Mm,
I think everyone carries some sort of little niggle or
mm,
some form of treatment before a game at the elite level.
mm,
And yeah, there was definitely times where you needed some medication to be able to play.
or
Or
cortisone injection.
or a cortisone injection. I definitely had them throughout my career. But that's just part and parcel of what you
Mm,
sign up for. It's a contact sport.
mm,
It's a physical sport, and there's a lot of running involved too. So there's going to be
mm,
soreness and injuries. And but yeah, I was pretty fortunate. Nothing really held me back.
mm. So just your shoulder injury, for example. So you did that injury, and then so how long did it take for you to be able to like do weights again and strengthen it after the operation?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Mm,
I mean, you basically hit rehab straight the day after your you sort of have surgery really. But that was a really tough one for me, and I was lucky it was during the off season, but it was probably a 6 month rehab to get to a point of sort of confidence in attacking a ball in the air and to get my strength back to a point of where it was probably took 9 to 12 months, I reckon. Um,
Wow.
but yeah, it was probably 6 months before you got the confidence to attack a contest or bump someone, etc. after the shot.
Mm,
Okay.
mm. It's very interesting, mate. Concussions. Did you ever have a concussion?
Uh, not not at AFL level. Probably had a couple um, at VFL level, but I don't have any sort of symptoms or anything like that
Hmm.
ongoing.
That's
But
lucky. So
yeah.
those couples that you had, were they ones where you were just knocked out cold laying on the ground, or you managed to get up, but you just didn't know where you were?
Uh, no, I think I came off the ground on the ones that I did have. Like I'd come off the ground and didn't play anymore.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Were you able to walk off or kind of jog off with help?
no,
You
I
can't
can't
remember.
remember. I'm not saying I
Okay.
can't remember because I had concussion. I just
Yeah.
probably can't remember
Yeah.
the level of detail. There's probably one I remember where um, yeah, I think I walked off, but
Yeah. No, it's good, mate. You know, if you get a concussion, it's not
yeah,
good when you see
very
people go
serious.
out in the stretcher
Yeah,
vehicles and get people off.
it's very serious.
Yeah. Just the last couple of years of your career, you played at Adelaide.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
It was the end of 2013. Geelong probably went through a bit of a wave of needing to sort of refresh their list. And, as much as I'd only been there for sort of 5 years, a handful of us sort of didn't get offered contracts. So for me, I probably thought my AFL career was done. Geelong did offer me my old role back at the football club or in the football department back again after I played. So I definitely had an option to stay at Geelong just in a employee capacity post that sort of time.
Hmm.
But then I sort of had a handful of clubs reach out to my management, which was, you know, great, maybe a bit surprising at the time because I was probably 32, 33, and asked whether I want to continue playing on. And I met with four of them, and then yeah, I chose Adelaide for a bunch of different reasons, and I'm very happy that I did.
Mm. Yeah, that's really, really good, mate. They gave the opportunity to prolong your career, and yeah, as you said, a lot of people at 32 or 33, they're done, but you got a couple more years. You got to play. You only
Yeah.
get to play AFL at a high standard for a certain patch of your life, and no, it's good, mate. You chose another club and you played. Just off the top of your head, do you remember how many games you played at the Cats and the Crows?
Is it 83 and 21 or
Yeah,
20?
that's 21. Well done, mate. That's good. Yeah,
Yep.
it's good you remember a lot of this stuff in your career, mate. Um, yeah, so 2015, I did some research and I know this. It was your second year at Adelaide, and you didn't play a game.
Yeah, that's right. We had Phil Walsh came in at the end of
Hmm.
2014. Bretton Sanderson, who's a mate, obviously got sacked. And then I actually told Phil Walsh that I wanted to retire at the end of 2014 and stay on at the club at Adelaide in a coaching or S&C capacity. Um, and he convinced me otherwise. Phil was pretty strong when it came to having an opinion and what he wanted. So yeah, I actually gave him a call and when he got the job and sort of said I'm going to retire and um, I've been very fortunate. I sort of had enough, and he sort of said, "No, I need you to stick around. I want you to play. I need you to do this, this, that. We've got a young team, etc." So I ended up playing. I had sort of under no illusions that I was probably going to play too much AFL, but then during that pre-season, I had a surgery and I had a soft tissue injury and sort of didn't get ready for start of the season, and then came back through the SNFL first game. I broke a bone in my back, so I missed 6 weeks, uh,
Mm,
6 weeks there, and yeah, there was a position that Phil wanted me to play as a third sort of tall key defender in that year. And then, yeah, there was an opportunity that probably arose the week I got injured, and it didn't sort of, I didn't come about right that I played AFL. So missed a fair chunk of the year and then played the back half in the Sandford and absolutely loved it. We had a great coach, Heath Uni, at the time in the Sandford. I got along
Hmm.
really well with him, and I think at that point in my career, it wasn't about me. It was about, making sure that the next crop of young Adelaide players had good role models around them and coaches out in the ground that can direct them. So I really enjoyed the last sort of 5 or 6 games playing Sandford.
Okay, no, that's good, mate. In terms of your AFL career, who was the toughest opponent you played on?
Mm. Yeah, it's really hard to answer that one because I think in that sort of 2009 era through to the 2015 when I was sort of part of the AFL, it became a lot about team defense. So you never really got like a one-on-one person matchup for the whole game like you probably did back in the day. So it was more around the good teams at the time were the good defensive teams. So the St Kildas of the world, the Ross Lyon sort of coach team defenses were always
Mm.
hard to play against.
Yeah, Pods, I just want to talk about a couple of defenders that you had to play against during your time in the AFL. Look, you had Matthew Scarlett, who was the GOAT, who was playing in your area in your team, but there were a couple of other very, very good fullbacks in particular. So Darren Glass and Ben Rutten come to mind. And look, they were both great lockdown defenders, great fullbacks for their clubs. They're both 6'4" tall in height. They were also built like behemoth men. They were huge. Darren Glass, he was captain for 7 seasons at West Coast. He played 14 seasons at West Coast also. He was a 3-time best and fairest winner there and a 4-time All-Australian. So, look, he would have been tough as to play against. He bet his opponent one-on-one a lot. So, look, if a forward kicked 2 goals against him, that was really, really good because a lot of the time they struggled to even get a goal. That's how good he was. Ben Rutten was also very, very good as well. Played over 200 games for Adelaide. He played 11 seasons at the Adelaide Crows, and he was All Australian in 2005. Now, he's a very similar player to Darren Glass. Darren Glass got the nod ahead of him a few more times when it came to All Australian selection for fullback. But look, they were both great defenders. And as I said before, if you're a 4-line player and you got 1 or 2 goals playing against them, you did. That was pretty good. That was a good effort because those two were just bulls, those two, and they were just fantastic players.
And same thing, yet with those guys, yeah, I suppose I learned this across my career, Matt. I'm learning it in business now, is that it's not just good enough to have one strength. You need to work on your whole game. You need to be well-rounded. You've got to be able to be quick, fit, agile, strong, powerful, clean.
Mhm.
That level of elite sport, you need to be good at a lot of things, not just one thing. And that's probably the difference between the second tier comps and the AFL. So, and that was the evolution of me. I just ended up working on all the things that I wasn't great at and got to the AFL. And if a player was quicker than me, I'd be stronger than them. If they were stronger than me, I'd be quicker than them. So I worked on that sort of philosophy.
That's good, mate. Just in terms of AFL teammates that you've had, which ones do you still talk to regularly till this day?
Oh, it's a confidential question, Ronan, but I think the couple of guys that I'm still close with, that I played a bit of footy with, that might be of some sort of profile. I mean, Joel Selwood, Tommy Hawkins, Rory Sloane's a very close friend from Adelaide. Paddy
Hmm.
Dangerfield I got to play with as well. So I've probably left some names off there, but they're the guys that I probably stay in contact with most regularly.
Mm. I do ask that because I was watching Matthew Lloyd a while ago. He did an interview on open mic with Mike Shan, and he said,
Wow.
look, he was a Essendon man his whole career, but Sam Newman told him if you can speak to more than 4 people regularly that you once played footy with at the same team, you've done well with yourself because unfortunately some of these guys, especially when they were at a club for so long, they didn't leave on good terms with a lot of people. Like, people left. Like Matthew Lloyd, for example, he was a captain for a long time. probably players weren't happy at Essendon with the way he did leadership and things like that. So yeah, it was interesting. Matthew Lloyd said from his Essendon days, he keeps regularly in touch with about 4 players.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
think it's not necessarily that you don't get luck. Andrew Mack is the other one I'm speak regularly with, but it's not
mm-hmm.
necessarily that you're not friends with these people. It's just that you everyone's sort of got different priorities and different times and different families, lives in different locations. So
There's
if
that as well. Yeah.
yeah, when we go back, the Geelong guys in particular, if we catch up once a year, we've got a catch up on Friday this week. And it's just like going back to the change rooms, back where it was. Like nothing changes. The jokes are still the same. It's the same old people. You could not see these guys for a year, and you still feel like you're part of a family and home and friendship still. So yeah, it all I suppose, how do you define how you catch up with these people, or how do you define friendship and connection? So most of our guys catch up uh,
Mm-hmm.
via text message, or we've got an NFL fantasy group that's still alive from
Oh,
Geelong in 2009, right? So
oh,
that's
cool.
yeah,
Nice, mate. You do
yeah.
the odd Zoom meeting with them?
We sometimes do Zoom drafts, so
Oh,
we catch up via that way.
okay, cool. No, that's good, mate. You still talk to a few of the boys. This is just to do with coaches in your career, mate. So in the AFL, Bomber coached you for a stint,
Yep,
Chris Scott and Brenton Sanderson.
yep.
Now, out of those three coaches, who would you say was probably the best strategically?
I mean, all of them to get to that level of AFL coaching, you've all got a
Mm,
level of strategy and stuff. I think, look, Bomber was an absolute genius, right? With the way he coached Geelong over a long period of time, and almost brought a new way to play the game for those guys. If you look at
mhm,
what he did, so learning off him for the couple of years I saw him was great. Scotty came in, clearly now he's a strategic mastermind, but understands the strengths of his players and puts them in positions to succeed, is the way I see Scotty. So I think he definitely changed the way that we played strategically. He was only really young as a coach, but he got it. And then Sando had a really attacking flair when he was at Geelong, even as a defensive coach. And when he went to Adelaide, I think you recall that he really changed the way the Crows played in those years. So for me, all those three coaches that I got to play under all had their sort of strategic strengths. One doesn't really stand out in front of the other.
okay, that's good, mate. I remember I heard Scarlett. So in 2006, Geelong had a bad year. They finished 10th or something. And Geelong, they were thinking about moving on Bomber. But Matthew Scarlett had Bombers back and said, if you move on Bomber, I'm going to put myself up for trade. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did that. And Bomber actually spoke about that in an interview that I saw. Yeah. And just, I've spoken to a few players that, well, they were guys that were on the Geelong VFL list that were like, so they played with like Shane Mumford and these sort of guys, and also younger guys. But anyway, I did hear when Chris Scott first came to Geelong, he had Corey Enright and Matthew Scarlett as assistant coaches helping him out.
Nah, they were actually players.
Or were they players at the time? But
Yeah.
then when they retired, were they assistants?
Yeah, I think Boris went straight to becoming an assistant at Geelong, but Scarlett spent a couple of years away from Geelong. I think he did some stuff at the Bulldogs at the time, maybe, in sort of some
Yeah.
development role. But I mean, look, I think that's the other thing that doesn't get mentioned a lot. We haven't got a lot of time to speak about is the amount of work that assistant coaches do that support these senior coaches.
Mm,
You know, doesn't get probably enough credit in the industry, to be honest. And yeah, Scotty came in at Geelong, who he had, I think Blake Caracella,
mhm,
Nigel Lappin, Brenton Sanderson as his assistants at the time, and a bunch of other, really influential development coaches. So the senior coach, their heads on a chopping block a lot. But yeah, from my vantage point, from what I've seen at all levels, it's the assistant coaches that do a lot of the work as
mm.
well.
And Chris Scott was very lucky. He inherited a very good side and won a premiership first year as a coach.
Yeah, he
He's very
did.
lucky. Yeah.
But like I don't think, to be honest, I don't think Scotty gets enough credit for that 2011 premiership. Geelong could have gone either way, or could have gone the opposite way, to be honest, after the 2010 year, an older
Mm,
list, etc. But Scotty came in and refreshened the game plan,
mhm.
refreshing the way we trained. In saying that, he did have some great support. Steve Hocking, Neil Balme were with him as well, so he probably wouldn't have been as successful as he was without those people around him. But he
Mm.
does take a lot of the credit for that year.
Yeah, and I remember he stopped because I think Cam Mooney and Darren Milburn were going to retire, but he kept those two there. From memory, they didn't play in the Granny 2011.
No, they didn't.
No,
No,
they didn't.
no.
And but he did because they were going to retire the year before, apparently. But no, Chris Scott, he inherited a good side and he got the job done in his first year as coach.
Yeah.
I did also see at Adelaide Crows you were awarded best club in 2015.
Yes.
Yeah, what did you do to win that?
I was just myself, Ronan, really. No, I think I actually, you've just sort of trigged my memory. I think it's the one award that I looked across my sort of whatever it was, 16 years of playing senior football, and the person that won that award, that all the clubs that I was at, whether it was at Geelong or Werribee or Collingwood Essendon, was like, I wish I could be that guy. You know what I mean? And then my final year, I didn't play one AFL game, and I won that award as a 35-year-old, or whatever it was. You know, for me, it actually meant something because I suppose I had an influence on the playing group, the coaches in the club in a positive way. And I think those guys that win those awards are the guys that I sort of wanted to be like. So it just took me a long time to be able to, I suppose, match my behaviors and values to that level.
That's cool, mate. Were you told you were going to win that before they gave it to you?
No, no, I was completely surprised and shocked on the
Okay.
night. I think it was voted by the coaches and the leadership group at the time. So
Yeah.
that was, and it was that year in 2015 was the year that the Phil Walsh thing happened. So it was a really challenging
Mm,
time for the club. And
yeah.
yeah, I was the myself and Scotty Thompson were the oldest players on the list at that time, and had a bit of a leadership role to play.
That's good, mate. We'll change topic now. AFL Max. Now we'll speak about this brilliant idea of yours. Yeah. So how did this idea come about of AFL Max, James?
Well, you know a bit about it now, don't you, Ronan?
Yeah, I
Which
do.
which is your real job.
Yeah.
But no, look, when you're playing, you know, AFL, even VFL, you get around to the community, you do a whole heap of appearances at football clubs and schools, helping kids, engage with the game. And while I was doing that, I had this sort of thought in my head. I wonder whether I'm probably like to go back one step. I'm a real critical thinker. I always like to look at things and think about how can we improve, how can we get better. And I just thought at the time, the way that was being done, I was like, how could the AFL do this better? And I didn't have an answer. And then while I was coaching at the Crows, we had this awesome high performance facility with an indoor AstroTurf field, some tackle bags and gym and all targets on nets and stuff. And I'd see the kids of coaches come in and kids of players come in, and I just have the best fun running around this facility. Um, and then I've also sort of always had sort of an entrepreneurial itch where is there a problem that needs to be solved in the world, and how can you commercialize that? That solution has always been my thinking. I've never done anything at scale. And then, yeah, all these things were sort of happening in my head at the time. Can the AFL do better in participation? Kids playing, having fun. So then, yeah, can we just leverage the AFL brand and create like an entertainment center? And that's sort of where it started, and where it is now is really different. But yeah, it came about through that. I went to some close friends that were successful in business. I went to the AFL and sort of pitched the idea to them. And it was always about programs and participation and entertainment, doing birthday parties and footy theme. But right now, AFL Max is a lot about education and working with schools and um, and running programs and curriculum and education
Mhm.
sessions with them, as well as the other stuff, birthday parties and running footy programs as well.
Mm. Yeah, guys, just to elaborate a bit more on AFL Max, because I was the building surveyor with, so working with James to through the building permit stages, and then at the end of the occupancy permit. It is a nice, beautiful, big facility. It's got a floor area more than 3,000 square meters. It's got, you say an AstroTurf is the oval material.
Yep,
It does have a very nice AstroTurf. So it's even for older people as well, James. So someone like myself, 7 versus 7, you can get a team 7 and play
that's
recreation.
right.
Yeah, no,
Some
that's
indoor
good.
footy
It's got
comps.
a nice mezzanine as well, guys. So you can go up some stairs and drink a cocktail while you're watching a couple of people 7 versus 7 running around playing footy. And yeah, James has got the jumping castles as well. He's got the nice party rooms, and yeah, it's hopefully it's a facility that lasts a long time. So James, you have two at the moment, one in South Australian and one in Melbourne Airport Land, which is Tullamarine basically.
Yeah, and that's the one that you helped with Ronan
Yeah,
for the last sort of what it was 12 to 14 months of building it out there at Melbourne Airport.
yeah.
And yeah, we launched it a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
which is really exciting. And now the next sort of 12 months to 18 months for us is generating awareness about what we do and making sure we create great experiences for
Mhm.
people. And I think the one thing I say about AFL Max to people that sort of don't understand it because you see the AFL brand to it and you drive past it or whatever, and it's like, what is that place? But AFL to me and to us stands for active fun learning.
Mhm.
What we do, we're trying to get people and kids in particular active. We're trying to get them off devices.
Mhm.
We're leveraging technology. You would have seen some of the technology we've got in our venue,
You
Ronan,
got some really good
to try and get
technology.
him, try and get him moving. And
Yeah.
then we're aligning all this movement to the Australian curriculum or the Victorian curriculum here in Victoria, and educating them on leadership, well-being, health and wellness,
Mhm.
high performance, and some mental health skills as well. So there are sort of core education programs, and yeah, we're really excited about where we can take it. And Ronan, hopefully you're part of the next one as well. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
Another airport build potentially.
You do have future. You did tell me you have the idea for a couple more in Melbourne.
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, we've got to focus on getting this one
Hmm.
right and getting the awareness out there. But yeah, I think if I'm putting my strategic business hat on, yeah, we want more AFL Maxes around the country.
Yeah,
So it's you got to walk before you run, and at the same time you got to chew gum and walk at the same time.
yeah,
So I need to do that and start preparing for the next one.
yeah. No worries. So you do have future ambitions for like probably every state in Australia has
Yes.
one AFL Max.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really good, mate. That's
Yeah.
really good goal to aspire by. So now you're in a joint ownership with AFL Max. Just a couple of is there a couple of other AFL former players who are on the board as well?
Yeah, there's a couple of players who are a part of I suppose, the commercials. Rory Sloane's probably the most highly profile one, helps out
Mhm.
on our advisory board, is an unbelievable ambassador
Mhm.
for what we do at AFL Max and is involved in some of the day-to-day too and helping us execute some of our footy programs with his experience and his knowledge. It's been fantastic. And then, yeah, having the AFL as an equity stakeholder and a key member of our board and our strategy team is really critical as well. So we're very lucky we've got access to their resources and their
Mm.
networks as well.
Yeah, so the facilities across the road from Essendon Footy Club.
Yep.
Are Essendon interested in using your facility at all?
Well, they've got a pretty cool facility
They
themselves,
do.
which you might have been the certifier on as well. But no, look, we'll partner with all AFL clubs within the area to help them in any way we can in terms of growing their fandom, membership, kid stuff, family sort of
Mhm.
engagement. So yeah, we'll work with AFL clubs in that space.
Okay. Just another business venture you're a part of. Face Footy.
Yes.
Yeah, so Face Footy, mate. We'll talk about this. So how did the idea come about of Face Footy?
Yeah. That one is I Rory Sloane, who we talked about. I saw him teaching a kid one-on-one. It would have been at AFL Max in the very early stages of launch, how to kick a footy. And he told the kid, just pretend there's a face on the ball. Like pretend this is the way you hold it. Just cover the ears, then point the nose to where you want to kick it. That's the nose, and then
Mhm.
that's just kick the chin. And I hadn't seen it before, and it sort of sat in my head for about 6 to 9 months, maybe even longer. And I had this epiphany going, why don't we actually just put a face on a ball and help teach kids and the next generation of people that want to play footy or the people that are new to the game how to kick a footy really basically, but in a fun way. Um, so yeah, I remember ringing Sloane and said, "Oh, mate, I've got an idea for us, and it's something I saw you do, 6 to 9 months ago." So yeah, we sort of just went from there and started designing
Mm.
faces and balls and characters, and then ended up going to Sharon during COVID and just said, "Hey, look, we've got this sort of concept. We're working on potentially producing our own balls." And then essentially Sharon came along and said, why don't we partner on it? So Slaney and I are partners with Sharon on these face footies, and it was probably good timing for them and great timing for us because there's no sort of kids product
Mhm.
that helps kids really
Yeah.
in a fun way. So yeah, now it was the ball sort of exploded early days, and we went from 4 characters. Now we've got 8 characters, 8 different balls. There's a new one getting released in about a month's time. So I'll send you one of them right when I see you next. And then we've got 18 new characters launching next year. So
Wow. Have
it's
you guys thought about doing like maybe small cartoons of face footy?
we yes, we've got some things in the pipeline which are outside of just balls, but yeah, like it's a time thing, isn't it? But
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea because I know kids just love watching cartoons, and
yeah, yeah,
you've got like you could have aliens kicking face footies,
yeah,
and yeah, make it interesting, and yeah, look, kids will just love it, mate. As long as it's interesting and
yeah,
colorful
exactly.
and creative, mate, you hook them right in.
Yeah. So that's been it's been a really fun
Mm.
project that, and I mean Sharon has done a great job in marketing it and
Hmm.
distributing it. Available at Rebel Sport,
Yeah.
online, AFL Max Sell. We actually sold a lot of face footies during that last week of school holidays, Ronan. So
That's good,
good.
mate.
Yeah.
They're flying out the stores. So does Big W sell them?
No, they don't.
So if I want to get one, where do I go?
Rebel Sport, there's a
Yeah.
couple of local sports stores, online at Sharon.
Hmm.
AFL Max has got them, and there's probably a couple of other stores that I've forgotten to. And I think next year there'll be a lot of AFL clubs will be also selling them.
Cool. Do
Yeah.
you have like with face footy? Have you got real small ones that a 3-year-old can kick around, like different size ones?
We're actually bringing out some soft ones as well, so some like soft foamy ones
Yeah, that's good.
for the really young kids. But yeah, my 2-year-old kicks a little face footy,
Yeah.
which is fun. Good to
Yeah,
see.
because we've got a smaller leather footy. Sometimes
Oh
my
yeah,
son kicks it. Sometimes my son grabs it and throws up against a window or something. We do have a soft from Chemist Warehouse. We've got a softer footy. He throws that around as well. It's not too bad against
yeah.
throwing at windows, but yeah, mate. Now what we'll do is, mate, just other sports you're interested in. You just said you grew up playing tennis and you love your NFL. Were you much of a cricket lover or a basketball lover?
Look, I think when I was a teenager, I really loved cricket, and there was that
Mm,
generation of Steve Waugh, Mark Waugh, Shane Warne, uh,
Ponting.
Ponting,
Mm,
and there was some real Gilchrist, there was real characters in the game, and you sort of and then I sort of fell out of love with cricket and haven't really found the love back to cricket. I'm probably a bit of an outlier amongst my friendship and family,
mhm.
to be honest. So cricket's not something that I enjoy, but yeah, I mean, I got back on the tennis court last year. Love having a tennis.
That's good, man.
I'm an avid golfer when I've got time. When I
Yeah.
haven't got a certified chasing me for RFIs. Uh, I'd love to play some more golf.
Yeah.
Um, but and then yeah, from a fan perspective, as I said earlier, I do enjoy watching the NFL every week.
Yeah. No, it's really, really good. You're not really a fan of NBA basketball?
No, no, no. It's probably one of those things. I was a teenager, I was,
Hmm.
and then haven't really.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, NFL is probably
Yeah.
the
You usually
sport.
go to Australia Open every year?
I haven't been to the Australian Open for a little while, but
Yeah.
I think yeah, it's interesting because I think there's a lot of sports that are really great to watch and not fun to play. And as much as I do like watching tennis, I love playing tennis, if that makes sense. it's a way better sport to play than it is to watch. So I'd rather be
Have
on.
you ever played against someone that's played for Australia or anything like that? Like, have you ever had a practice hit with Hewitt or anything like that?
Uh, no, there was probably, I mean, back in the junior days, I got to a decent level. There were probably some players that would have
Yeah.
made circuit things or whatever, but um, no, I haven't had a chance to play against anyone that's been ranked in the world.
Have you ever met a famous tennis player?
I can't remember.
Fair
Maybe,
enough.
yeah.
Fair enough. I remember growing up, I used to watch tennis a fair bit. I still do. I
Oh,
was a
Leighton
huge
Hewitt,
Pat
I've obviously
Rafter.
met because
I
he's a
was.
Crows
Oh,
person.
you've met Leighton Hewitt?
Yeah, he's a ripper. Yeah, he's a lovely guy because he's a
Yes, he is.
Crows fan. So I met him when
Yeah.
I was
Geez, he was really good when he was young. He was like world number one, youngest world number one, and he won, I think, US Open twice. Played in a few Australian Open finals, but then he hit 23 or 24 and had this bad foot injury. He never came good, and then like he's got a massive heart, Hewitt. Like
he was a
he'll get
gun.
knocked out. He'll get knocked out of the first round in a Grand Slam, but it'll be like a five setter.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, geez, if he never had that real bad foot injury, geez, he could have, mate, he could have been like a Federer or something.
Well, yeah, yeah. In fairness, he was a gun, but he just came through that generation of like there was so many superstars
Mm,
just coming into their prime. Federer, and Nadal, and then he also played against the Agassiz and the Samprases of the world. Like
he did.
the fact that he made it to number one with those guys, uh,
Mm,
around him was phenomenal. And
mm,
not that we want to get stuck talking on tennis, but my recollection of Leighton Hewitt was he was he was known for his defense and chasing every ball, but he had
mm,
an unbelievable knack to turn defense into offense really quickly,
mm,
and can attack and hit a winner um,
mm.
really quickly. So yeah, he was
His return to serve was brilliant. Like
yeah,
some guy
yeah,
would just smash
yeah,
it 200 Ks at him, and then he just smash it 200 Ks back down the line.
yeah,
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 in his peak, he was a brilliant return to serve.
yeah.
Are you much of a movies or TV series sort of guy?
No, I'm not, mate. No, no.
Okay, you're just not interested in chilling out, watching a movie or TV series. It's not really, you'd rather read something in your own time, or
Chilling out doesn't exist when you've got two young kids under five.
unless they're asleep in
Um,
bed.
Yeah, yeah, unless they're sitting in bed, but then you're working these days when you're doing what we do. So no, look, I don't have anything that I did enjoy uh yeah, this is how much of a fan I am. I can't remember the name of the show, but there's a show that I really enjoyed the last couple of years watching. It was an English based sort of action comedy. Oh, I can't think of it now.
Where did
Slow,
you watch
Slow
it?
Horses.
Oh, okay.
Horses, fantastic show.
Where
So
did you watch this?
on Netflix. Netflix or Apple TV, one of those two.
Uh,
It was a great show.
cool. So I imagine you haven't been to the cinemas in a long time.
Very long time, mate. I can't tell you the last movie I watched.
Okay. No, that's good, mate. Now, are you much of a music man? You enjoy music?
I do, yeah, yeah.
Who do you usually listen to? Like, what genre of music do you listen
I'm probably a blend of everything, really. Growing up, I love my hip hop.
to?
I still listen to a fair bit of that.
So who'd you listen to? Was it like Dre, Snoop, Eminem,
Yep. Um, Dre, Jay-Z,
DMX?
Kanye, not DMX, no, 50 was big, Eminem was big.
Mm,
So those guys were, and then you got your sort of urban R&B that I enjoyed too, and Usher and that sort of generation of music. And then, but I love Coldplay. I could listen to
yeah, they're
Coldplay all the
good.
time. Kings of Leon is one of my favorite bands. I
They're
could listen
good.
to Kings of Leon album all the time. So I'm not just, and then I do like some pop songs. I mean, I'd listen to a Taylor Swift album as well. So
Well,
but
mate,
no shame in saying that, but I'm pretty mixed when it comes to the music I like.
no, that's really good, man. Yeah, because I love my hip hop rap as well, and
I do.
I do,
Right.
yeah, and I like rock. I like alternative dance music as well.
Yeah.
Like Calvin Harris. I was listening to him during the day, and Yeah. So, um, lastly, mate, the Snoop Dogg performance. Did you love it?
I thought it was good. Like I think it's I actually haven't read any commentary after it. But from I was at the ground and you were too. I think it would have been better. I did watch it on YouTube after and watch it on TV. It looked even better on YouTube. But yeah, to perform on a circular stage, circular
Mm,
stadium, 100,000 people, daylight, I think he did an amazing job. I thought it was
mm.
great. So
I probably would have liked it. I was lucky because I was sitting MCC members at Go To, and he faced us.
yeah, yeah.
If I was behind or something, it would have been pretty disappointing. I
It's
thought maybe
tough.
he could.
Yeah.
I thought he could have had like a flat platform. He could like when he's rapping, he could like turn around and say get to the other side and have dancers spread out around. But yeah, he had the stage designed to face the MCC members.
Yeah.
I've actually recorded the whole thing on my iPhone 16 Pro. And I'll put it on YouTube. So if you've got
Yeah. Is
time,
that
yeah,
legal?
yeah, well, it uploaded through. So if you got, it goes for 14 minutes. Type in Keats Pod Snoop Dogg, and it'll come up, and you can. It was pretty good, and I went down to the fans at MCC members. I had Kane Corns right next to him on my right, and Luke Hodge. On the other side, I had Nick Rewald and Joel Selwood. So yeah, so and Dale Thomas. Dale Thomas was loving it.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a hip
No,
hop
that's
man.
great. No, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. NRL, did you watch the grand final?
No, I didn't.
Good game.
Yeah,
Mate, they're a different breed, those NRL players. I had a guy, Jerome Hughes. He dislocated his shoulder 6 weeks before the grand final. He still played. And he played the other final games as well. And he played with a broken arm. So he played with a cast on his arm. This
that's
Jerome Hughes,
amazing.
he scored a try. He's tackling blokes with his broken. He would have been full of painkillers, obviously. But geez, it was a close game. Broncos won by 4 points, I think. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Teddy Swims was the singer. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I have. He's got an
Yeah.
amazing
So
voice. Yeah,
he was good, man. He was like he's quite a poppy singer with a unique voice, but he was doing like ACDC, TNT, and things like that. He was
that's great.
yeah, mate. He was a real rock star out there. So no, it's good, mate. Just any questions for me, Pods, before we wrap it up? Anything off the top of your head, mate?
Why are you doing a podcast?
Well, look, mate,
What?
I used to be on one, right, with another guy, but you could say we've just gone two different directions, and he wanted his pod a certain way, so I decided to do a pod. So this is actually my 10th episode. My first one was probably February or March this year, but yeah, look, I don't really have a theme. Look, I love my sports, so half of them are quite sport orientated, but I spoke to a guy who's a registered architect, and I've spoken to a guy who's a financial broker. And so I've spoken to different people. A young guy who is a carpenter, and he sustained a bad concussion and it changed his life. I spoke to him as well. So yeah, look, mate, it's just a bit of a hobby. It's very easy to do. I'll just have a Zoom meeting with someone and talk with them. And then, look, if I ever do go anywhere with this pod, mate, like, I get a bit of a fan base. Like, I do promote it well. I've got an Instagram account. I've got the Facebook business page, and with over 100 people already that have clicked like, and I've only just started as of March. So, look, mate, if I grow it and I'm the next Joe Rogan, mate,
Ha!
you can
Keep
tell
going, mate.
people,
Episode number
mate, that
10.
guy, I did a podcast with that guy. Now he's
No,
a
no.
superstar.
Well, I think, mate, well done for having a crack and well done for doing these things.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun and it's a bit of a passion for you, but I see how busy you are
Mm,
in your real job. So have
yeah.
an outlet, um, to I suppose chase a passion is really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so,
Look, to be honest, my dream job would probably be being a sports commentator. So this is
yeah,
the
wow.
closest thing I've got. Doing podcasts is the closest thing.
Well, being a building certifier, you couldn't be further away to a commentator, but anyway.
Look, mate, a job like that, getting a job at Channel 7, being a sports commentator, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So
You never know.
but anyway, mate, this is the closest thing I've got to being a commentator. But yeah, look, I have fun. I do snippets as well, James. I do these 1 minute snippets. I've got a really good AI program, so I do these nice subtitles. I go on Google, I get images. So we were talking about Leighton Hewitt before. So I'll do a snippet where we talk about Leighton Hewitt, and I'll just have these snippets come up, and I'll make it look amazing.
Yeah, well done.
So yeah, I like them. I feel like a director when I do these snippets.
Great, great,
Yeah, it's good. It's like it calms me down.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's
And
a
you're
good
gonna wake up
outlet.
tomorrow morning and head out to the airport and start working out whether door handles are high enough.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Back to the real world.
Back to the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
No, awesome, mate. Well, thank you for having me as a part of it. Appreciate the
Mm,
invite and thanks for your help over the last 14 months. A
yeah,
few more things we need to get ticked off, you and I, but we'll do
yeah,
that
we do.
in the next little while. But yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
mate.
Thanks for that, James. Yeah. So I will need to go back to AFL Max and check a few things, but
Yeah.
I'll see if you're going to be there or not. Have you been there a fair bit,
Yeah, I
or
have been there every day since yeah,
it's open?
every day since it's been open and
Yeah,
the team now are getting going and getting
yeah,
operational, which is fantastic. But yeah, we've got a few things we need to tick off with you and the airport before we get going. So I'll make
yeah,
sure that we'll stay in touch, mate. There's definitely some
yeah,
things I need you to help me out with as well. So
yeah, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Good on you, James. So for the pod listeners out there, we'll wrap it up now. Thanks a lot, James, for giving up your time. I know you're a busy guy, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. You're going to enjoy it even more when you hear it. You'll have a chuckle to yourself, and yeah, I remember the first time I heard myself on a podcast. I listened to it like 8 times. My first episode I did. Yeah, I loved it. Anyway, James, thanks, mate. And what I'll do is I'll stop the recording and I'll just talk to you for a little bit once I've stopped recording. So, pod listeners, see you later and hope you enjoyed this pod episode. See you on the next episode of Keats Pod. Cheers.